Welcome back to Wild Girls Gone Sober. Woo! I'm Amy.
And I'm Lindsay, and thank you for joining us today.
Yep.
This beautiful day in South Florida.
I know, session 2 out here on the Lanai. I kind of like this backdrop. I'm a junkie for watching our videos. Lindsay doesn't like to see herself, but I like to rewatch them. And I figured out this was a miracle because I'm not techie, and I couldn't recreate it today. But I figured out how to cast to my television, which, you know, I have a football watching husband, so we have an enormous TV, and it was so fun to watch us here in this beautiful setting. It was great.
Oh,
that was my story. I enjoyed watching our video.
It was a little creepy when you sent me so Amy sends this picture of her big screen and we're on it, and I was like, oh,
with my jammy feet.
I don't know how I feel about that. Somebody else also sent me the same picture. It's like, love the curls, and I'm like, oh gosh,
creepy.
It's just when seeing it so large.
So if you have pictures of us on your TV, share.
Yes,
because it clearly makes Lindsay uncomfortable.
We love to do that.
Yeah, so we're still in sort of kind of lockdown. Life is still not really back to normal. It's May 8th today, I think.
It's something like that.
I don't know what day it is.
I
don't know what day. It's Friday. It's May 8th. We're both kind of working from home. I know I'm very eager to hit the road and get back out to like interacting with people on a regular basis. So
I am not. I'm really hoping that it can stick, this working from home thing. At least a couple days a week. I don't really even need to go in. So for me to go back full time just doesn't seem. I'm just so much more productive working from home.
Well, I think doing what you do, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, doing what I do, it doesn't make sense to hide where there's no people.
No.
in sales, you kind of have to meet people.
Right.
Yeah, so, but that's good that you're enjoying it. I've had this autonomy all along, so it's a little different for me. Now I'm just like missing a component of it that I really like, so it's hard.
So what are you doing like at work to kind of still stay connected? I know you guys said that you're meeting a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
Catching up on paperwork. Do you feel like you're kind of catching up on like... I know, I've seen a lot of people posting about like, oh, I've been cleaning and I've been doing this and I've been doing all this, like doing all this stuff. Like my oven's still dirty.
Oh yeah, I'm not cleaning my house. Let's be real. Like my house is, you just walked in and it stinks like dog, and there's like dog hair tumbleweeds running across the floor because. So I had cleaners coming, which was a gift to myself. That was a sober gift to myself. It was something I hadn't had in a really long time, and it's a stress point for me. My husband is a little bit of a neat freak, and he cleans. It's not like it's on me to clean, but it stresses me out when he's frustrated that the house isn't clean.
Right.
But I don't want to clean it. So I wasn't drinking. I didn't have the horse. I like all that
sober
stuff going
treat.
On. So sober treat to myself. I hired a cleaning service. It wasn't crazy expensive. They were coming every other week. But then the COVID happened and they shut down, and so they haven't come for like a month. And I've like spot cleaned, but certainly not the job they do. And now during the COVID, I went and bought a new horse, and I'm like, oh, I can't really afford the cleaner anymore. So I'm gonna have to get off my ass a little bit, I think. But in terms of staying connected, it's been challenging. So I don't really work closely with a team in my role. We're all pretty independent doing what we do. Like I do support the guys that that came from the company that bought us. Like I kind of support them because they can't sell what I sell. So I interact with them a bit, but really I'm just kind of on my own doing my own thing. And so I've really just worked on like closing stuff I already had out there. I'm not doing a good job prospecting. None of this is interesting for you, I'm sure. This is like the most boring topic ever.
Okay.
But I am trying to reach out to friends. Like I'm trying to actively reach out to sober friends, especially people like we know from meeting that we haven't seen in a long time. Because I think it's really easy to forget to check in with people.
I think that's a great topic. So we started and we didn't really have a topic. We're just going to see
how
winging it went. But sober friends. So you mentioned that you feel like, the universe has brought you some sober friends lately, especially on your beautiful horse purchase.
Yeah, my barn peeps.
You want to talk a little bit about that and how what you
Yeah.
feel about that?
It's, it's interesting because, like, I don't think I really knew many sober people.
Like, they just never existed.
Yeah, like, I don't,
I-
who's
yeah.
sober? What kind of freak show is that? Oh, I don't want to hang out with them. I don't trust people who don't drink.
Oh, that's
ever
the
say
worst
that?
line. And I used
Yeah.
to say that all the time.
All the fucking time. Yeah, I don't trust them because they can blatantly see I'm a raging alcoholic. That's why I don't fucking trust them. So yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm 7 months at this point.
Yay.
And I started riding with this trainer back in maybe January, and we were just in conversation. She mentioned something about like a sober gift to herself, like something that was a sober gift to herself, and I was like, are you sober? Like, and I was excited because I really liked her. Like, we had an instant connection. We liked each other. We've become friends. Like, it was really easy. And then come to find out she doesn't drink. Now, she's not sober like we're sober. She's not like AA sober, like program sober. She just doesn't drink because she doesn't like that out of control feeling. She did shut up. That's weird. But she did drink a lot, I guess, in college. And then, like, just after college, it got a little out of control, and she decided, like, enough was enough. So she was like the unicorn, right? Like, probably could have a problem, realized it, stopped, and she said, like, she might once a year have, like, a martini, and that's it. Like, she just really doesn't like to drink. So it's awesome. So that was fun. And then she tells me that the people who own the barn that I ride at are sober. Like, they don't, and same thing, like, they're not alcoholics, they just choose not to drink. And I'm just like, oh my god,
We didn't know that there was a
all
choice.
these people out there that just don't drink. So it's cool because I feel like I now have these people that are like a safe space, and especially for it to be the barn for me, huge. Like, my last barn that I was at was very much my place. Bunch of ladies, bunch of wine drinkers, had parties. Everybody would be hanging at the house drinking wine. Like, they were my people. It was great. So now it's really interesting that, yeah, the universe has been like, oh no, you belong plunk right there with all these safe people who, when they have a cookout, they're not getting raging drunk and the wine's not flowing, and
You'll be able to drive home.
and you can hang out and enjoy and drive home. Yeah, so it's very exciting. What about you? Like,
So I don't feel like I have that. Like,
Okay. But like
a
a sober circle?
Not really. I'm like, you're my circle. But no, I mean, I don't, because I haven't been going out and like making new friends. I haven't even been going to meetings to make maybe
There hasn't been anything.
So I feel like, and I can tell, like I can feel. Oh,
Sorry, we're outdoors. My allergies.
So I just feel like for me, like I don't know, like I don't have a sober group, gaggle group or whatever you call them quite yet, but I'm okay with that.
Right.
I know that I'm going to be very, very specific on who I let in that circle, because you know we have this bubble of sobriety and all these things in the universe are coming at us, like, you know, especially now it's like, oh, it's wine time, you know, get up and drink or chug a beer, or the one of the guy in the row with drinking his Bud Light versus the coffee one, that one cracks me up. But there's just all these things trying to get to the sobriety, and I don't know, I'm going to be very careful on who I let in my circle from now on, so that might be part of my hesitation.
So glad I made the cut.
Of course you did.
You know what I was thinking about today? This is a little off topic, but I was remembering today, because I had the car accident back in August, and I got sober in September, and I was headed to the chiropractor today, and I was thinking about my neck and how long it's been, and da-da-da-da. And I was remembering the day that I called you really losing my shit and realizing I needed to stop drinking, and you saying, like, do you want to go get a coffee? And we met up at that coffee shop, and that whole thing was going through my head today, and I was really grateful for you today, because I was remembering that. So anyway, sorry, little flashback.
No, I went to that same coffee shop the other day. I had a horrible experience. People were getting too close.
Yeah.
It was before everything like reopened. People were there like hugging, and they were being. It just made me very uncomfortable. No touching! Wear your mask! Stop getting so close to me!
It's the worst. I miss hugging.
But I know, just when you touched me, I was like,
I'm sorry.
No.
I know, you really did move away, too. I was like, sorry.
I don't even know where I was going with that. But no, I did.
Coffee shop,
coffee shop. And it did make me think
But
of
we
that.
were talking about your sober circle. We were talking about
Yeah, so, I mean, it's, you know,
you're
like
being
my
cautious.
boyfriend, love to death. I would call him sober, but he doesn't drink. And he hasn't drank in a while, and doesn't drink, or he probably never never drink really around me. He's good like that and supportive. That's never been his thing, so it's not like
Right.
he's
But Pat,
stressful.
on occasion, could tie one on. Like, has
Oh,
he,
for sure, yeah.
Like, has he ever come home, like, schnockered since you've got sober?
Since I've got sober is different from when, I don't know. So, yes.
Home with you there, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I know you've just moved in together, but.
Right, but I think since we've kind of gone through like a phase of, okay, we're doing this, he really hasn't.
Okay, well, that's good.
And there were, rules. Like it's different. Like before, you know how you never really like wanted to come home because you weren't really happy just in general. So we like, one was never enough.
Well, because I couldn't drink enough.
Right, and you
at
couldn't
home.
like be yourself. There's like a difference. It's like he wants to come home now because he wants what this relationship provides. Where it's different. Where I think before maybe he didn't want to come home. Maybe I wasn't as fun to come home to.
Right.
Because I was going to be wasted.
know what he was gonna
Right.
do.
So I think that's a big difference there. But yeah, so I am excited to find a sober circle, like wherever that might be. But no, and I'm not like, oh, boohoo me, I have no friends. I have,
no, you
I have
have
a ton
plenty
of
of
great friends.
Yeah,
It's
you have plenty of
just-
friends.
It's just like,
And I have tons of people in my
Right.
world who are not sober.
Right.
Like, that's fine. I just think it's just interesting. Like, I do feel like I want to gravitate towards people who are sober a little bit more because I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to feel weird. I don't have to feel uncomfortable. And I think that's what the benefit is to when you're new. Getting meeting and like meeting some people to have a conversation with, relate to, even if it's just at meeting, like even if that's the only place you have your sober
Right.
circle. This is a little off topic of sort of place, but people post a lot about having a partner who still drinks, because clearly with a problem. I'm sorry. Like partners who clearly drink like they used to drink, like because that's why they were together, because they were good drinking partners
Right.
too, and stay together. And I have a friend who, I think they're not together now. They've recently broken up, but her significant other clearly really had a problem, and I don't know how people do that. I don't know how. I don't know how that works. If you truly are trying to be sober and because you have a problem, and we know how bad you want to drink and how stressful it is to not, like, to have your partner be a drunk. I don't think I could have survived that. It would be like living with
Right.
someone who's a smoker when you're trying to quit smoking, right?
oh, even worse because you're changing. Like I'm not the same person I was 10 and a half months ago.
That's fair.
Like
Yeah.
the evolving to be at a different level. Like you might not have said the things that you want now. Like before I was very, shy and meek about the things that were important to me and the things that I wanted because I felt like I was being too needy or I didn't even know what I
Unworthy.
wanted. Right. Unworthy or, oh, I don't deserve that because I drank or I'm a piece of shit, whatever you're feeling. So, as you kind of gain this amazing confidence, right? Like you are just more vocal about certain things. And sometimes if your significant other is still drinking, I don't know, you'd have to have a pretty solid relationship beforehand to kind of go through that, I think.
Which I don't think you can have a solid
No.
relationship in that space. Like, I think if one or both of you are problem drinkers, you're not dealing with whatever's going on. Like, you're drinking that
Right.
way because it mushes the feels down and you don't want to communicate what you really need to be. So the basis of that relationship can't be healthy one way or the
No,
other.
you don't really give a shit about the other person's love tank because you're worried about your drunk tank.
Oh my god, well, I love this one.
But seriously,
You're worried about
like,
your love tank, you're worried about your drunk tank.
you are, like your love jug, whatever you want to call it, like you're just worried about how, sneaking in booze.
Right. So, something to think about. If
Yeah.
you're in a relationship with a partner who is a drinker and it's a struggle between the two of you, it's really time to evaluate what's right for you.
Well, like
And
you-
talk to your therapist.
Absolutely.
I'm not a
And-
therapist.
and you're talking about like sober friends, like your partner's your best friend,
Yes,
right? Like
right.
you have a life outside of that,
Correct.
but that's a big portion of your friend circle,
For sure.
right?
If John was a drinker, I never would have stopped drinking. I mean, honestly, like I would have partied till my head fell off. Probably.
Are you tired? You killed someone and you're in jail.
Right. Yep. Yep. Happy times. I'm so glad I'm sober. Yay, 7 months. And exciting. Well, it's only May. I'm a little early to talk about this, but come September, my car insurance officially renews at normal people car insurance rates, and the DUI thing dropped off. That's really exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, I'm already feeling the benefit of it because, I've had to pay my insurance 6 months in advance for the last 3 years, and so I made the last, I think it was March, I had to make the last payment that was the 6 months in advance of the astronomical car insurance. Which is why I was able to do the horse thing again, because that was on my video. But anyway.
So if you're new, all these things, like, one thing we always talk about is we joke about in AA how people would be like, I'm Mary Beth and I'm the most grateful drunk alcoholic you've ever met. And we're like,
and
how the fuck is that possible?
That's a load of bullshit. Who's grateful to be a fucking alcoholic?
But, it gets better. And now...
It does. I almost get it now.
I do. I really... I feel like I do. And
I
if you're close or... Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I don't want to talk over you. I think... I don't know that I'm at the place yet where I'm like, I'm so grateful I'm an alcoholic because without that component, my life wouldn't be this amazing. Because I think that's what people are saying sometimes. I don't know that I'm there. I'm certainly grateful to be sober.
Okay.
I'm a grateful AA'er. I'm a grateful sober person. I'm grateful that my life is headed in a way better direction than it possibly was going the route I was going. Because I'm sure, I'm 41. I'm sure by the time I got to 50, I would have looked like some of the folks we meet. Mm-hmm. I would have probably lost a job. I would have probably had another DUI. All these things that I'm sure I probably would have wrecked my marriage and not been with my husband anymore. I think if you saw me in another 10 years on the trajectory I was going on, I think even though I had held my shit together for so long, I don't think it would have gone well. And so I am grateful to be sober and know that that's not my path.
Right.
My path is, onward and upward and in a good space. I don't know that I can relate to the people who are like, I'm so glad I'm an alcoholic because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have met all these great people and I wouldn't have done all these things.
Right. And I think I mean that more in I think there's a certain appreciation that I personally have for life that I didn't have before. Mm-hmm. And I think that's from, gratitude and just seeing all these wonderful things. When people are like, oh, life beyond your wildest dreams and all that stuff. It's the way that my life is transformed, and not really by stuff and things, even though I have moved and all that, but by just the quality of relationships are just at a deeper level. It's not at a boozy brunch level, right? You and I can have conversations.
Love the boozy brunch.
Always ended up with bruises.
Yeah,
right?
Always end up bruised after the boozy brunch.
But yeah, it's the quantity. I think that, or the quality. I'm sorry, rather than the quantity, and I think that's why my circle is so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to hang in there. You always talk about stringing your first couple of days and this and that, and it's hard. And I really wish I would have journaled it because it's like a fog. This first 90 days, it's almost for me, I don't really remember the feelings until the day that you and I went to that AA meeting. And that's when it was I just can almost feel the rush of emotion, hit you all over again. But hang in there because it gets better. It's just the hard work.
Yeah.
And just being consistent.
Well, and it doesn't have, so it gets better fast, I feel like. It's horrible in the beginning. It gets better quickly. And then there's a lot of work that's got to go in.
Right.
But I think in the beginning, it doesn't have to be work. It's just fucking survival. It's sometimes it's a little white knuckle hanging on day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour to talk yourself out of getting in the car and going to buy a bottle of wine or whatever you have to do. Go to bed, eat some chocolate.
I was going to say, eat some chocolate.
Take a nap.
Read a book.
Yeah, go for a walk.
You probably don't even want to read sometimes either when you're just emotional.
Yeah.
But even just...
My brain was a train wreck. I was a mess. I mean, I know... somebody posted on that Facebook group I talk about a lot. Somebody posted, it's day 3 oh my God, like, why do I feel like this? And I was like, oh my God, day 3 will live in my memory forever as like the worst day of my life. Like,
Same.
it was just like the worst. I was exhausted. I was stressed. I felt like garbage. I couldn't focus. Like, it was just so bad. And then by day 7, I was a little human, and I could see the light at the tunnel to get to 10, and then I could contemplate getting to 14 days. Like, you just, like, every minute you get through, you can see a little bit longer space of time in front of you. Like, I can see a year now. I'm at 7 months, and I'm gonna get there. I can see that. But I think, so I say it gets better fast because I think, like, day 1 you can't imagine to getting day 3.
No.
Day 3 you can just kind of barely imagine getting to day 7. You know, like it's.
See, for me, it was a little
gets
different. It was like by the 2nd month, that's where I think I started experiencing like everything. You know,
Oh, like the withdrawals and icky stuff.
Yeah, all of it. Like, just
Well,
kind
because
of
you
all
like
the
white knuckled
emotion.
it too. I wonder if it's different because I went to meetings right from the beginning. Like, I went to meeting before I stopped drinking.
Yeah, and so I think that when people say they're like rock bottom, and so like my rock bottom was a result of all like of the way that my brain was manipulative and controlling and just deceitful, and that had kind of caught up with me once I stopped drinking.
Right.
So once that bottom, so to speak, kind of happened, then it was a flood of emotion. So everybody's journey is a lot different, you know, and that's when like shit got real after that AA meeting, because I was like, oh my God, this is gonna have to be forever. And that was when, that sounds so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I think I almost like allowed myself to then go through the emotions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of just was like, okay, I can get through this through a certain amount of time, but I don't think I ever thought it was going to be something I did forever.
What made you stop drinking? Like, I know we had the golf weekend. That was a shit show. And then you played golf on Father's Day, which was the next like, day after my double day of wastedness tournament. And you got pretty wasted at that tournament. And I know you played with your dad and had like a beer, and then you stopped. Like, but what was the catalyst there? Like, did you come home after the tournament and you and Pat had a big fight, or like what happened?
Yeah. So that night when I came home on Saturday night, you know, ever since my therapist, when I first went to see my therapist, and of course I lied. I was like, I don't have a drinking problem.
Right.
Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
for sure.
And she's like, you can't be in a relationship with this man and alcohol. So you need to choose what's more important to you. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have to choose. Excuse
kidding,
me.
Pat. Just kidding.
Like, I don't have to choose. I can have my cake and eat it too, right?
Right.
And so that, and that's always played over and over and over every time. It played in my head the morning that I knew it was an open bar. It played in my head. And so then coming home, you know, not remembering all the things that, you know, me in the shower, don't remember,
Yes.
you know, all the disturbing things he told me that I was saying and doing. And then, you know, just the whole situation. So that was, I was like, all right, well, this has just got to be it. And I had my last glass of wine and I went to bed. And that was it. And
So-
again, I didn't think it was like going to be forever.
Right.
I was just like, oh, I'll stop for a little bit.
Yeah, I'll rein it in.
Yeah.
Best behavior. The reason I asked that is because, you know, those first 3 months that you weren't drinking, you did say to me that it was probably forever before we went to that AA meeting. Because you said to me, like, yeah, well, I probably can't ever drink again. And I was like, oh, I am not there. What? But the reason I ask is because if those first couple of months, right, before all the shit hit the fan and caught up, it was really best behavior because you were like, oh, I got in trouble with Pat and I have to go on best behavior, and you were kind of like muscling through, and you weren't doing all the self-work, and you weren't thinking about it in terms of a lifestyle change. You were just thinking, oh, I gotta sober it up a bit so that we're okay. I can see not having processed anything because you were just like white knuckling it through the punishment of not drinking for a while.
And I said that to you, and I did believe it, but there's this the truth wasn't inside of me yet. It wasn't like I knew that this was going to have to be. Even today, I felt like
it was still a probably.
Well,
I probably.
But no, it was like I don't know. There's a difference between just saying it and hoping that it'll come true, and really like believing it.
Sure.
And that was the difference for me. Because after that AA meeting, and I was like, oh my God, like this is serious. This isn't to be taken lightly. You know, I made it this far. Like, I'm not going to go back. Like, there's a difference. And all the books I've been reading too, and I've been into like memoirs a little bit more. Like, I just read Demi Moore's, which was great. But all the books are like, you know, they talk about this like relapse, but it's like you can't unknow what you know. And I just didn't feel like I ever wanted to go back there, and I still don't. I mean, we talk about it all the time, how it just seems scary to like go back and have to redo it. And knowing what you know now, like I don't even think I would enjoy it.
Yeah, what do they say? Like the worst thing is to have a belly full of booze and a head full of AA. It's like it's one thing to drink when you're ignorant about it and you don't really get the damage that you're doing and the consequences. But when you're doing it and you know damn well how bad this is going to go and what it's going to lead to and the destruction it's going to cause, you got to feel guilty when you're doing it. Can't be good.
I can't imagine. No. The thought of it kind of like grosses me out. I
still feel sad about it sometimes though. Like I still lament it sometimes. Like I still wish I could be a normal person who could just enjoy it and have a glass or two and think that was enough. But then the other half of me knows damn well 2 glasses would never be enough. Like I know I can't ever try to control it because it would never be enough. Like maybe I could do it once or twice, but it's gonna end up with me wasted on the floor in a blackout. Like I know it.
In the bathroom floor.
On the bathroom floor, blacked
Amy's
out.
spot.
Yep. And it was interesting. You were talking about him telling you the things that you said, and you don't remember any of that. So my birthday, the first year we moved down here, we had like an open house here for the kids had homecoming. They were all so my next door neighbors and another neighbor down the street, we all have kids the same age, and they were freshmen in high school the year we moved here. And so I did like an open house, and all the kids got ready here and all went off to homecoming together. Well, it was my birthday, and my neighbors, who are super cool, awesome people, they were like, oh, it's your birthday, we turned the hot tub on, like come over and hang out. And I was day drinking all day. I mean, I'm sure it started at 10 in the morning, maybe 11 if I was being respectable, but that's questionable. And red wine was my drink of choice, and I was drinking all day long. I remember the whole day. I remember everybody was gone. It was just me and John, and we went over to hang out with them. They were still here, and we went over to hang out with them. And I remember getting in the hot tub and being tired. And I remember just kind of like leaning on the edge of the hot tub, and then that's it, like lights out. I don't remember anything else. I came to in bed at like 3 in the morning in a panic because John was supposed to pick the kids up from the dance. And I was like, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. Did we go to, like, what happened? Did we forget about the kids? Like, I was in a panic. He had gotten them. It was, but
Good job.
we had like a fight the next day where that was kind of what he said to me, like the things you said to me. And I had such a hard time processing that because I was like, I'm super in love with my husband. I adore him. It's gross. I adore him. I think he's the handsomest man on the planet. Like he's my best friend. I don't want to hang out with anybody more than I want to hang out with him. Like, and that's always been the way it is. So I couldn't, and he wouldn't tell me whatever it was I said that made him upset. Like he wouldn't tell me what it was I said, and I'm just like, I can't imagine what I would say. Like, why would I be mean or nasty or whatever to this person that I know how I feel about him? Like it's so odd. And then you read things about people, like there's different theories, right? Like alcohol brings out your true personality, or alcohol removes your inhibitions. You say what you're really thinking.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think I think that. I think it alters who you are. I don't think that's you're a real person.
I completely agree. So I've been told by numerous boyfriends, one in particular, who
She's violent.
No, well,
Ginger be hitting people.
Ginger snap, no. But I've been told that, like, you're just an angry drunk. And I'm like, me? I'm the
Right?
life of the party.
Yeah.
I'm fun. Yeah, like, I'm
Friends with everybody.
Right.
And never
I don't understand.
icky.
And I've been told by one boyfriend in particular that, and this was kind of like a rough time, where I was like doing coke and drinking and drive. It was just like, it was bad. But he was like, you're just so nasty to me. Like, you say the meanest things. And I'm like, well, it's probably your fault. Because that's how...
You should stop being such a douchebag.
That's how my brain thought. And then one of my sweetest boyfriends, sweetest, told me that I hit him in front of all of his friends. And I was like, me? I'm like, no. I was like, I think you were really drunk. So, because the next day I ended up taking care of him because he was puking in the bathroom floor. And I had to, like, muscle up I'm the good girlfriend. Let me take care of you.
Right.
Like, you might have a problem, buddy, but not me.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't be mad at me.
I'm just more of a pro at this than you are.
Right. You're
Just a
amateur.
fucking lightweight.
But apparently I had, like, hit him.
Yeah,
And
it's so odd.
I know. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so that is one of the gifts of sobriety is like, oh, I know exactly what happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to wake up feeling gross and like shit or guilty or terrified of whatever I said or did or what happened. Like, that's a huge, huge gift. Like,
It's not even just remembering, like, so today's a Friday, and I have today off, and I was assigned this project for work, and so it is requiring that I'm a little bit more present in work for Friday, but normally, had I had the day off, I would have been at the pool, fucking cracking some mimosas were my shit. That's what good excuse for me to start early, right? So I would already be, what is it, almost noon, 2 bottles of mimosa in. Easy, right? Laying out by the pool, probably take a little pool nap, whatever, and I wouldn't be present to answer the phone if I needed to for work and things. So it's not just remembering for me, it's just like I'm present all day.
Right.
I'm available all day,
Right.
unless, tired or whatever, but like those are just these little gifts that today I found myself like super grateful for. I was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if I need to answer an email because I'll be able to form sentences and type them, right? Without just voice talking, like, I'll be home soon. XOXO. Smiley face. Yeah.
When
Can
I'm
you?
texting. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it is nice. It is nice, and I think, that's what one of the things I'm super grateful for.
Oh,
though.
God.
Yeah, for sure. And on a selfish side, nobody can hang anything over my head.
It's like you have your
nobody's got
control
anything
back.
on me. I know exactly where I am. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't have anything to apologize for. Like, that's a good feeling because I think we spend a lot of time in like, let me be a good girlfriend mode, right? Like we did.
Absolutely.
We spent a lot of time in that mode because we had fucked up and we felt guilty. And sometimes, like, we probably did it when nobody was even mad at us. We just were carrying that guilt around, thinking we needed to.
Like a
So,
freaking 1,000-pound gorilla.
It's huge relief. Huge relief.
You know what I always hated too is when people would be like, "Oh my God, do you know what you did last night?" Or they would,
the dreaded,
and you're like bracing yourself, right? Like, oh God.
Nope, can't wait to hear your version of it though.
But then you would question their version.
Right.
You're like, were you like,
are you embellishing that a little bit?
right? And then you never knew. So you were like, well, I think you were embellishing.
Yeah. I straight up called somebody a liar, and I still to this day don't really know if it was true or not. But remember Sober Jane, right? Sober Jane from the concert. Okay,
Yes.
So if you haven't seen episode 2, watch episode 2. You know who Sober Jane is.
God. So
So we used to party at Sober Jane's house when poor Sober Jane was sober, but I don't think she was sober at this point. I'm not sure. They had a heater in their pool, and they'd crank that bitch up to like 95 degrees, and it would be like a giant hot tub, and everybody would be drinking, and maybe a little bit of pot. And we were in the pool one time, and they had like a jacuzzi jet kind of thing going at one end, even though it wasn't a hot tub. There was kind of jacuzzi jets at one end, and I remember being drunk enough to be like, honey, can you take my top off? Like, I remember that part. And I was down the end with all the girls. I don't know why I want to take my top off. I don't have any boobs. There's not anything for anybody to be excited about that. I don't know what that was about. And he was like, no, I think you can leave it on. That'll be fine. But I think I did it anyway.
Of
And I was hanging out with like two other girls. It was me and two other girls, and we were down there. And sober Jane was like out of the pool at the other end of the pool, so she must not have been drinking then. Well, the story the next day was like, oh, you were climbing all over this one and saying you were lesbians and scissoring. And I was like, I don't believe any of this. Like, that's not, come on. Like, it's just so...
Oh, I could believe that.
No, so far from... No. Only with you. I always said if I was going to play for the other team, it would be Lindsay. But I'm really pretty straight. I'm really super pretty straight.
But
anyway,
yeah,
but I like straight up was like, I don't believe you. You're just full of shit. But
do you think I think we just tell ourselves what we want to hear too?
It could have been. I don't know. Anyway, not one of my finer moments. Glad not to have any more of those moments. So, anywho, how are we doing time-wise? Is it time to give our...
Yes, it is.
I think so. All right. Well, it's been fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed our new location. I'm sure we'll bop around a little bit as things open up because Lindsay and I live pretty far away from each other, so we're trying to not drag each other too far.
Right. I've kind of
each time. Yeah.
Trying to come here a little bit more.
Yeah. We'll find some spaces and be bought back and forth and we'd love to hear some requests for topics. So far, all's been pretty quiet out in Wild Girls Gone Sober land. So we want to hear from you guys. Find us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. What else? What's going on?
That's
with our
it. I think
communication?
we're working on a new logo that we should have today.
Ooh, that's exciting. Maybe we'll start having some swag.
Yeah, Amy and her swag. So once we get all that kind of rocking and rolling, it's kind of like the first step. Mm-hmm. You'll be hearing a lot more from us.
Yep.
And a lot more requests to like, comment, and share.
I love it. So until next time, you can stay sober wherever you are.
We choose to do it in paradise.